What is going on with you guys, man? I am Lee, and y'all are now listening to episode 7 of the Totally Unbiased podcast, where we are unscripted, unfiltered, uncut, and most importantly, we are unbiased. This is going to be my final video of 2023. We overall had a pretty decent year. I won't go through a review of how this year has been for me. I'll just say that it was an up and down time. Came back to YouTube, and had a pretty nice time as all the culture. A confusing time as all the culture, and then turned into I Am Lee. And I gotta say that I've felt so at home doing this. I know the views have fallen off a cliff, I think I've only gotten one 1,000 view video since turning into I Am Lee, close to two 1,000, and a few plus 500, and a few, it stayed over 100, so that's all, I really asked for. Because once we start getting back to that territory when we're in our fives and tens and stuff like that, and that's when, you start to realize you're really just doing it for you and like a handful of people. Which, that's fine. I was doing this when I was and you can ask my cousin if you can see him in the comment section. Like, I had like 4 or 5 views in here, and I was still, putting energy behind the videos. So, that's why when I say it's never for views, it's really never for views, okay? I was doing this when there was absolutely nobody watching, like close to nobody. So, that I have a somewhat bigger audience, it hasn't changed. My effort has, been kicked up, but, the same philosophy comes with it. So 2023 was a pretty productive year for me as a person and as a content creator. I'm appreciative of anybody that's still watching, and I'm sure this part's going to get skipped by a lot of people. So anyone that is listening to this part, I appreciate you for giving me the time to listen to what I have to say, whether it is you wasting some time at work, or you're cleaning the house, or whatever the case may be. Same spiel. We say this a lot, okay? So thank you for listening to the Totally Unbiased podcast. Thank you for checking me out as a content creator, as either all the culture or as I Am Lee. Doesn't matter. I appreciate you. But today we are here to talk about 3 things. I've consolidated 2 topics into one because they really kind of coincide with each other. Bad parenting, and I want to talk about children and social media. I had a poll up on Instagram, and this morning it showed that a little more, a little close to 40% of you guys wanted to, hear me talk about every topic that I wanted to speak on. So I will be having a story time to round out the year. It's kind of apropos, as they say. So I'm going to make sure that you guys end off on an entertaining note. So that being said, let's stop wasting time. Let's get into what we're talking about, and we're going to kick this off with the bad parenting. I am scared for this next generation. I am. I really am, because we have to look at what this current crop, when I say this current generation, I'm talking about, really, I don't know if the generation, I don't know if I'm still a part of this generation. I don't know. Let me see. We like to take our phone out and do some research. Generations. There we go. Hope that's not a movie or something like that. Okay. All right. Here we got it now. What's up? We got the boomers that were born from 46 to 64, Gen X born from 65 to 79, Gen Y born from 1980 to 94, so I'm not a part of Generation Y, Gen Z born from 95 to 2009, and then Generation Alpha, which was born from 2010 to 2024. I don't know if alpha is how I would, is what I would call them. So I'm a part of Gen Z. I was born in 1996. So I'm a part of Gen Z. So this new generation, my generation, Gen Z, they grew up how they were and whatnot. And they grew up behind the parents of Generation Y. All right. Well, my father was born in 1967, so he's a part of Generation X, and my mom, yeah, they're both a part of Generation X. So I want to say that it's thanks to that generation how future generations turn out. Is always how it's supposed to be. How the prior generation is how the new generation seems to come up. If they came up worse, they came up bad, the prior generation came up bad, then the future generation will come up a little worse. And I'd like to believe that the past generations have gotten worse over time. It is a shame, I'd like to say, that I even have to make this video. These celebrities, they're becoming more and more unhinged. Regular folks, they're starting to get on social media and do things for your attention. Your inner, regular folks now can get paid to do what the celebrities used to do. It's not like how it used to be, okay? Where you tune into a radio station, or you turn on YouTube and you got your favorite content creator talking about whatever. Now you can go on Twitter and some random person with a check mark can say whatever and have their opinions known. And usually is a lot of ignorance that's being spewed here. Now you're probably wondering how does this coincide with the bad parenting. It's because it's really becoming apparent that most, if not, I'm not going to say all, but most people a part of my generation, Gen Z, are coming up very ignorant. Either ignorant or based off of what the prior generation before mine, Gen Y, uh, it's just a clusterfuck of stupidity. Okay, they grew up watching shows like Bad Girls Club and Love and Hip Hop and stuff like that. And to be fair, I mean, some of my generation grew up watching that too. But really, it was made for Gen Y, all right? Those shows. I'm not going to sit up here and completely blame those shows for the deterioration of how parenting is, but I want to also blame it on what age people are having children at. The younger I see that you have a child, then really and truthfully, they grow up with you. You have a child at 16, then by the time you're 32, your child is 16. And you're still fairly young when your child is nearly an adult. So it looks away, all right? You have children past the age of 25, and I'd like to say that's a little better, okay? But I feel a little better about that. I don't really like when people have children young because they take their young ideals and they have their children grow up. Of course, you're going to love and care for your child. Yeah, you should, because that's your child. You helped create this life form. You brought them into the world. So you should have unconditional love for your child. But there comes a time where that just doesn't seem like the case anymore. Truly feel like, and I'm going to stamp it when I say it, I truly feel like with this newer generation having children, it's really looking more and more like the unconditional love fades away when the child gets in the way of their personal aspirations. And it's sad because I want to say that this just looks like one of the most unmotivated generations ever. Gen Z, they're cool and everything. Okay, again, I'm a part of it. All right. But I've looked up statistics. I've checked out and seen, stuff. I'm even, I've seen it with my own two eyes. 20 or 30 is becoming the new 20. And 40 is becoming the new 30. And 30s, 30-year-olds think that they're 50 and stuff like that. It's just all over the place. Responsibilities, people start to realize that they have responsibilities after the age of 25, between the ages of 25 and 30. And once you hit 30, you start to contemplate what you did in your 20s, and some people give up. I've seen it, I've seen a statistic that 30-year-olds, that people between the ages now of 21 and 35 are actually starting to stay at home with parents. It's a larger number now of 30-year-olds staying with their parents than there ever was. And that's where, there's more 30-year-olds playing video games than 20-year-olds right now. There's a bunch of 40 and 50-year-old content creators and streamers and stuff like that. In this current generation now, we have to where you really have to do nothing. Like, people are motivated right now to stream and go on Twitter and have ignorant opinions and stuff like that to make their money. And while that is possible, while that could be, not everyone's going to be Kai Cenat. It would be a 22-year-old that basically has his whole life figured out already. All he has to do is display his personality in front of a camera, and there you go. He can, I've seen some tweets saying that he makes $25 every 2 minutes. If we're good at math here, 2 times 5, that is 10, correct? So, and 10 minutes, that man's that has made what, $125. That's absolutely crazy, right? I hope I'm doing that right. 25, yeah, 25 times 5, yeah, okay. No, 20 times 4 is 125, right? I was right, yeah. So, had me thinking I was stupid. But, in 10 minutes, that man would have made $125. And then we're not going to do any more math past that because, I don't want to expose myself on camera. I was pretty good at math in high school, but we ain't going to talk about that, all right? We're going to talk about a little bit of my life later. And that kind of coincides with these children, okay? Children and social media. Of course, I'm going to talk about the two topics converged into one because they really do coincide and kind of splash with one another. These children are starting to have the personalities that their parents have. It's starting to become grossly apparent that children and their parents, that parents want to be friends with their kids, not authoritative, figures in their life and friends. I'd like to believe that it's possible to be, both, to be an authority figure in their life and be a friend, a person that they can turn to. More so than often now, parents are starting to shut down. We're starting to grow up and depression starting to become self-diagnosable, which I really don't want that to be, okay? If you say you're depressed, please make sure that you're actually depressed. Not to say that I just want people, when they say that, because it's kind of insensitive, okay? You go through 2 bad things in one day and then you go on social media and say, oh, I'm depressed. You're not depressed. You just having shitty luck for that day, So please, let's stop misusing that word. It's one of the most grossly misused terms out here, okay? Because there's people out here that are actually depressed, having to actually, go through therapy and take pills and do stuff like, come on now, let's grow up. You're not depressed. I was there through the emo stage of the world. Everybody all of a sudden was wearing all black and listening to grunge rock and stuff like that, or listening to emo rap and no, come on, let's cut it out, all right? A lot of y'all ain't actually like that, okay? If you are actually like that, I hope your roads to being happier is a healthy one for 2024 and beyond, all right? Hopefully you have somebody in your life, or you learn self-love, because that's really, I'll make a video about that one day. I might lead off with that in 2024, actually. Might be my first podcast episode, because we're headed to episode 10, so episode 8 might very well talk about mental health and, depression and all that stuff. So look out for that. But parents, doesn't even matter at this point. With statistics even backing up my claims, I can add a source, in the comment section or the description box, or multiple sources, that 30-year-olds are really starting to have the same aspirations and ideals as 20-year-olds. And not even just 20-year-olds, but 30-year-olds are starting to act like early 20-year-olds. It's starting to become grossly apparent now that even as a 30-year-old who's not even middle-aged, I like to think that 40-year-olds are middle-aged, 40 or 50-year-olds, Well, I mean, really, you gotta take the life expectancy and cut that in half, and that's what's middle age. If it's 62, then yeah, it very well might be like 30, 31. So I don't know, but you take the you know current 30-year-old and they're doing things that the 20-year-olds are doing. They're doing things that not only the 20-year-olds, I'm talking about the early 20-year-olds, 21 to 23, you know? Like they're doing stuff that they're doing, that they're supposed to be doing. And they might be in their own house. And that's the freedom. That's the best part of having your own place, okay? You get to do whatever you want to. Currently right now I'm sitting in front of my TV that has my video game paused, right? If I just told people, or if someone asked me, what are you doing, as a 27-year-old, or I'm sitting here playing video games and, I'm about to clean my room and blah, 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 that just sounds like, doesn't that sound like something that a 20-something, early 20-year-old would be doing? No. I have a job, I bought my own car, all that stuff that these older people would feel better taking credit for, no. These children are starting to look at how their parents are, and they're starting to feel comfortable within their own actions. I grew up in the generation where, well, I don't know if it was just my household, but I like to believe that this was a lot of other households, primarily black households, that you did something bad, you were getting your ass whooped by one of the parents. My dad didn't do that. My mom was the one that handed out the beatings. My dad has never touched me in any type of negative way. My mom, on the other hand, brooms, slippers, rocks, shit, my PlayStation DualShock cord, you name it. I was getting cracked over the head with it, smacked with it, getting bruises and welts on my back. Yeah, no, it molded who I am right now. Not to say that I'm going to take those ideals and I don't know. It's a clusterfuck, like I said, because nowadays you're seeing parents not really care for that type of thing, not care for discipline and stuff like that. This generation, they like talking to their kids, and they like giving their kids the freedom that they wanted to have. My generation, I grew up, and you were on the phone, and my parent was checking. My mom was checking what I was doing on my phone. She made it to where she seen what I was doing, who I was texting, who I was talking to. These kids today will see that as some sort of evasion of privacy. Oh, you shouldn't see who I'm talking to because, yeah, I was flirting with girls. Oh, yeah, for sure. And my mom even checking me didn't stop me. But because she did that, I wound up not engaging in any, stuff that I shouldn't have been engaging in at an early age, because I knew my mom knew what I was getting into. I knew my mom was going to ask questions, and my mom was there. She was an active parent. She actually checked on what I was doing. My dad wasn't around too much. He was around here and there, but he wasn't around all the time. I really only see my dad some of my childhood. I won't get too deep into me and my dad's relationship, but I'm seeing him more as an adult than I ever did as a teenager or a child. So there's that. But yeah, my mom was there. She made sure to have a foot right up my ass to make sure that I was going down the right path. If I was doing bad in school, that is where the disconnect starts with these children and the parents. When you're not in their view and they're around people that are doing the same thing as them, or at the very least they'd like to relate to the person that leads the cooler lifestyle. Okay, these kids want to do the coolest thing nowadays. I'm starting to see now in this current generation that it's very possible that your child has grown up quicker than you have. By the age of 10, they're already on social media. They're already saying a lot of cuss words. Hell, I could use the park that's right across the street from my house as an example. I ride past or even stand outside for 2 seconds while them kids are at the park. I'm hearing more cuss words than I would have ever heard when I was going to school. And these teachers aren't doing anything about it. Now more than ever, I'm starting to see clips of teachers getting their asses beat or yelled at by kids or pushed around and stuff like that. The teachers are cussing back, It's sad. It's very, very sad, okay? It's very sad. I hear these kids cussing and they're playing football and stuff. Man, you can't catch for shit, bitch ass. man, get the fuck out the way, man. Oh, and shit like that. And you could have swore it was some grown ups. Like that's how you would hear your uncles and your dad and you know the grown dudes that were playing football. If you watch your family members play football, that's how you used to hear them talk and stuff like that. And got these little kids outside, you know, not even 10, or maybe they are 10. Who knows? I don't know. How old are you supposed to be in like the first grade? Like 6 or 5, up to I say sixth grade. Maybe you're like 13 or 12 or something. I don't know. Pre-13-year-olds cussing hard, saying words, saying the F word. And I ain't talking about fuck. I'm talking about the derogative slur for gay folks. Saying the N word all the time. Stuff like that. They saying whatever they want. Kids getting super active. You got little boys going up to little girls, smacking their asses and acting like they need to be going together on a harder level. When I was going to school, shit, yeah, there were girls that I liked, but I was shy at the time. And even if there was there were relationships that were in my elementary school, but there was never at the level of you see them kissing in the hallway and they're groping each other and stuff like that. Man, I look across the street at this park, there's little girls now, which again, I'm not against gay relationships. I'm just stating something, all right? We're in a generation now where you have to keep on confirming that we're not against a side, but no, I'm seeing little girls walking around kissing other little girls right now at this. Maybe it's just at this specific school. I don't know. But if that's the case, I live in a pretty nice neighborhood, I'd like to say. So, I don't know. Again, it's a product of what's going on at the house, Well, not to say that, I don't know. I'm going to get off the gay subject because that's a whole turn that I don't even want to talk about today. I want to talk about what is happening as far as these children in the fast maturity. Again, it starts in the household. It does. It starts in the household. And if you live a square lifestyle, kids start to figure out that you're kind of lame at like the age of 6 now. If you're not as cool as the teacher or something like that. Like, they start to stop looking at you as someone they need to, mold their lifestyle from. Unless you instill that in them at an early age, I was reading books as a child. I did. I was reading a little bit. I stopped once I went to middle school and I see my first big ass in middle school. I was like, oh, well, wait a minute. That's fascinating. What's that? And all of a sudden I like girls. I always like girls, but all of a sudden I wanted to pursue girls. And there you go. I stopped reading, I stopped reading. I started studying what girls liked. It's a shame. It's not common for boys and girls to kind of abandon, who they were as a younger child once they start to engage in romantic interests and stuff like that. It's very common. You go from an honor roll student to a regular student once you start engaging in relationships and stuff like that. Because at that age, a little girl doesn't know, or a teenage girl doesn't know that she needs to inspire you to become a better person. She's only really worried about either making you happy in under the condition that y'all get together or whatever. She just likes your company or he likes your company. They don't really care about your future aspirations as kids. Kids don't really think about the future. They're not thinking about the future or what they want to be. They think about that type of thing when they're kids, but it's always some type of silly thing, or, for the most serious kid, it's something that they saw on TV or something like that. Nowadays, these kids, they're not taking inspiration from their parents anymore. It's becoming very evident that they're not, inspired by what their parents are doing, because in this current generation, their parents probably aren't doing anything that impressive. Before, if you were working at a plant and you were bringing home tons of money, that was cool, that was all right. That was cool, All the time it was either, oh, I'm going to be a police officer, I'm going to be a firefighter, I want to be that was the most serious that it got. I used to want to be a lawyer, a lawyer, or get this, a professional wrestler. I kind of still want to be a professional wrestler because I mean, come on now. But uh, for the girls, it was I want to be a princess, or I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a nurse, or something like that. It was a little bit of childishness in it sometimes, but they're kids. Childish kids are gonna be childish. They're children. So that's expected. All right. Nowadays, now, we got 9-year olds that are already rappers and talking about things that, the older rappers are talking about. Of course, I'm going to reference Lil RT and YMWB Slime and Bad Baby and Matt Ox and stuff like that. Children that are talking about things that grown ups should be talking about. Noah Cyrus came into the music industry at the age of 17 or 16. And she was talking about doing things she might regret the prior night and stuff like that. It's like 17 talking about having one night stands or having fuck buddies and stuff like that. It's like this it's getting wild. Okay, not to say that in older generation there weren't teenagers coming up as artists. Again, Lil Wayne started off as a 16-year-old. He was rapping as a 16-year-old. He came up talking about the block was hot and stuff like that. So, whatever. But that he was a product of his environment. All right. I don't think kids like Lil RT grew up in the hood. And if he did grow up in the hood, then again, sure, he has somewhat of a past. But he has a circle behind him. Lil Wayne had to do shit like that. Lil Wayne's mom, if you kept up with the story or kept up with this type of stuff, Lil Wayne's mom seen that Lil Wayne had a gun, and once she seen that Lil Wayne had to travel around with a gun, she took him out of school. And Lil Wayne just was not going to school. He started pursuing rap even harder. So that's how that story went. I'm going to guarantee Lil RT has people behind them that will tell him, oh, yeah, you can still go to school and all this stuff. I don't know if he is going to school or not, whether it's private school or whatever, because he ain't going to public school. Because if he was, his life would be even more out in there in the public and stuff like that. No. These kids are going to school, they're cussing, more than they ever were. They're going on social media. And I like to blame social media for this. Music has its blame for it, but the highest blame that there is possible is social media. Again, parents aren't really checking up on their kids like they should be. We're in probably the most technologically advanced era of all time when it comes to just life, period, okay? So there's child lock, there's parental locks, there's way to see what they're doing from your phone even. From your device to see what they've got going on. Again, like I said, I once had a phone. I think it was a slide phone that my mom was directly she was able to see everything that I was doing. Like she was able to see text messages. She was able to see what apps I was using. All that stuff. I wasn't some kid either. She did that when I was a teenager. All right, so she was able to see all that stuff I was doing. I remember one story particularly. I was messaging this girl. And she sent me a nude, and it was her bending over a table. My mom told me in specifics that girl's pose one time. He was like, how's your day going and all that stuff. He was like, talking about a pose that a girl was doing. It was like, yeah, you and your girlfriend. And I was just like, yeah, okay, great. This is perfect. But yeah. That aside, because I think I might make that a separate story time. My mom was wild. I don't think that there's any type of watching going on. Sure, there are instances where parents know what their children are doing, but I think the bulk right now of parents don't actually care, or they're just too lazy to check, and that's the biggest problem out of this right now. Parents don't care because they've got their own thing going on. Because again, in this current stage of life right now, is hard to live in America. It is. You need even more money than you've ever needed back in the 2000s, back in the 90s. Back in the 90s, a house probably, to rent, you probably were renting for like $500 at the most, maybe. I don't know. Now I don't want to say that it was too old, But shit, in the 70s and the 80s, y'all was paying like 20 cents for a burger. So, shit, you know. Yeah, maybe I gotta do more, studying and educate myself on how it was back then. Um, but hell, even back then, me and my brother were watching a stream of the 1969 and 1979 NBA All Star game, and we seen a part of the commercials. They were heavily pushing cigarettes. They really wanted you to smoke cigarettes. It was highly likely that kids were getting into the parents' stash back in the day and getting into their smokes. That's what they called them. The smokes and stuff like that. That was yeah. There was no social media back then. So there was no way of being influenced by what other kids were doing unless other kids were already getting into that type of thing and telling everyone else about it. But 9 times out of 10, that parenting was probably a lot more stern back then. Maybe. They just had more traditional views of how to do stuff because the mother really was taking care of the children back in the day. The fathers and the men were outside doing the work and stuff like that, coming home to their wives and getting progress reports of how their children were. The dad was responsible for whooping the kid, and the mom was responsible for being the nurturer and stuff like that. Nowadays, it's changed, obviously. Yeah, things have changed in a big way. Now, your kid has the latest Samsung or iPhone. They're on their phone with no type of parental guidance. They trust them with a phone right now. They're getting on Twitter, and now you've got all these weirdos on social media before the age of 18, before the age of 15. They're on social media talking about the things that they're talking about. I mean, look at the current stage of social media. I like to believe that most of what inhabits TikTok is prepubescent humans. All right, teenagers, sub 18-year-olds that are on TikTok. All right, and that's why I feel like it's really, really, you should be really careful about what your child gets into because, again, I want to point at OnlyFans and TikTok and Instagram real quick. You've got people that practice sex work on there. Doing whatever they're doing and stuff like that. And you've got your child alone in the room with a phone and they're looking at all this stuff and they're aging faster. They see these type of things, they hear things they're not supposed to hear, and they grow up quicker. They grow up before they're supposed to actually be grown up. A 13-year-old should not be thinking about sex and stuff like that. They should know the dangers of it for sure. But they no, they shouldn't even be thinking about when they should have it and stuff like that. Y'all gotta check up on your kids. You have to. Sadly, if you want your child to grow up a slightly adjusted in life, you gotta be there, like really be there and be up their ass and stuff like that. The reason why I'm not 27 with 3 children right now is because my mom was actually there. My mom asked me those questions. My mom checked on me, wanted me to check in with her when I was going out places and stuff like that. It's kind of why I'm thankful I didn't grow up too much around my father. But yeah, this besides the point. If I went somewhere with my father, I remember one time I was living with my dad, and he seen one of my girlfriends at the time. And he was like, "Oh, she looks pretty good, man. If you want to invite her over, man, and you want us all out the house one day, just let me know." Yeah, my dad was very willingly giving me the keys to have sex with a girl while everyone was out the house. He didn't give a shit. He was fine with it. He was like, "Fuck it." You know what I'm saying? I know. You know what I'm saying? I know. Go ahead and do it. My mom, she would not have been that cool, I guess you could say, because that's cool to some boys. Oh, my dad will let me have sex with this girl. You see the skits. You see the skits where the dad is happy that their boy is talking to girls, or their son is not gay, or whatever the case. Them traditions still live. Them traditions are still alive. It's a lot of dads that push for their sons to engage in straight activity. Yeah, but that was crazy. My mom would have never done anything like that. Hell, my male cousins, I'm sure their dads were probably giving them that same conversation, like, come over my house, and you know what I'm saying, like, I'll be gone for 4 hours. I'm sure it won't take that long, but I'll be gone for 4 hours, and I'll be back. And if she's still here, I'll get out your way. If she ain't here, then I know you finished the job, or you just didn't do nothing. Mothers, they not doing that. They're not doing that at all. If you're a female and you're listening this far into this part, would you let your son? Would you give a lob to your son like that? Your pre 20-year-old son or pre 21-year-old son? Would you give them that type of lob? If you wouldn't give them that type of lob, that's why you need to be in their life, because I'm pretty sure there's someone else giving them that lob. If they're outside the house and they say, "Oh, I'm gonna go play basketball, mom," and they really going to go drop some balls, yeah, no, you need to be in their life. My mom was vigilant that I check in with her, very vigilant. And I did. I checked in with her. If I didn't check in with her, she was mad. She was gonna be up my ass. And I'm thankful for that type of supervision. Uh, Ironic, I say this because, yeah, I'll tell that story at a later time. But it's becoming more and more apparent that parents aren't actually checking up on their kids. Because if that were the case, half of Twitter or X, half of X would not be a thing. Half of X would be empty. You'd have these grown-ups saying ignorant things for clicks and engagement and money and stuff like that. I've seen way too many accounts on Twitter saying, "Oh, my birthday, I turned 17, yay!" And you check their account and they're saying shit that grown people are saying. It's like, what the fuck? Like, if I have a child, which at this point is probably very unlikely, um, I'm gonna check. I am. I'm going to check. They're not getting a phone until they're out of fucking elementary school. I don't think your children. I mean, yes, I feel like the common excuse with that is, there could be an emergency, something crazy could be happening. Okay, yes, there's always a separate reason to give your child a phone. There is. There's always a separate, more important reason for it. But I feel like the latter. I feel like not the latter, but I feel like the other side of safety is, you know, this side, this very unsafe side, and it's scary. It's very scary. It scares me because this next generation is gonna, this generation Alpha, Generation Bravo, if that's what the next generation is gonna be called. They're gonna grow up even worse than this current generation is coming up, and this current generation is coming up terrible. TikTok, you got a bunch of children being exploited and stuff like that. You go on Twitter, a whole bunch of children being exploited. Any social media app, kids are exploited. Kids are shown the craziest things. They can check whatever they want to check. They can check everything they need to check. You got shows out now like Baddies and stuff like that. You still got your Bad Girls Clubs and everything like that, and your Love and Hip Hops and stuff. And you got little girls that are coming up off that, and you got little boys watching UFC and stuff. I mean, not everything is they're not always watching the bad examples or gravitating to that. They're watching what you watch. They're seeing things that you've seen. My dad told me about wrestling, so I watch wrestling. My mom told me to get into sports, so I started watching basketball. I started playing basketball. A lot of, Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that came from the schoolyard with kids doing Kamehamehas and talking about Goku and stuff and all that stuff. So you checked the channels and looked until you found Goku. So yeah, some of your interests came from yourself, but a lot of them stem from what your parents tell you about. Tell you what your parents tell you about and what you see other kids digesting. You try to fit in, You see everybody talking about who the best rapper is, then of course everybody's going to be listening to that rapper. Kids are extremely easily influenced. They're they're the easiest to influence, next to Taylor Swift fans. But it's wild. It's crazy that parents act like they don't know this. I don't have a child, and I know this. Do not have your child going, and this is why people care so much about what school their kids should go to. Whether it's Ivy League or whether it's private school, and then you got your public school and your charter schools. I went to a charter school as a teenager. We were in the Blazers and stuff like that. Yeah, I went to a charter school in the ninth grade, and then after that, I went back to public school. It's a product of what you allow your child to grow up around. If you have these people say, why do these white people talk like that? You know what I'm saying? They're a product of their environment. If they grew up in the hood, then yeah. But sometimes it's pretty easy to identify who grew up in the hood and who didn't. If you get to look into their past and actually see. You grow up in the hood, you're going to grow up a hoodlum. Unless you're conscious enough as a teenager to break out of that cycle and be your own thing. I grew up in hoods. But guess who ain't talking like Kodak Black right now? Me. Because I was able to break out of that cycle and go to different environments and see what was going on. Never, seldomly was I in the gated communities, or seldomly was I in the suburbs and stuff like that. Yeah, sure. I'm able to put myself in those situations now because I'm a grown ass man that is able to put myself in the suburbs if I want to. And it's all a part of your lifestyle too, if you want to be in those places. Because if you live a hood life, don't bring that hood shit to the suburbs. They don't like that. You shouldn't. Yeah, no. So that's another side conversation. Your children is growing up in the hood. If you don't want them being hood and growing up to turn out worse than you do, you need to work harder to get yourself out of that environment. Parents, you have a responsibility now as parents to shape you're not living for just you anymore. You're living for your children now. You need to be in the best situation. If you don't want your child turning out hood, don't be in the hood, but you know what I'm saying, work hard to get them out the hood. What do you think is more important? Being in the hood but having your child go to public schools, or being in a nice neighborhood but having your child go to public schools? It's a mix of the two. It's one bad mixed with good and whatever. And sure, they're gonna get treated a certain way because yes, there were kids that when I was going to public school that they were coming from good neighborhoods. They were coming from good neighborhoods. I didn't actually see my first white person until 6th grade when this girl named Julia started coming to school with us. There was an Asian kid when I was going to 1st grade named his name was Jack Tycolin. I don't know how the fuck I can remember his entire name like that. He just was that memorable to me. But I can barely remember everyone else's name. And when I was going to elementary school, but he was special because he was dead ass one of the only white kids in that school. Asian kid named Jack Tycolin. He barely, we could barely understand what he was saying. Could not. But I hung out with him because he just was special to me. I was just like, I don't know, like I don't really see white people. Like I was an introvert to a T. I didn't leave the house unless I was going to school or my mom or my dad wanted to take me somewhere. Usually the places they were taking me to was raw Detroit, so it was straight black people. In Detroit, you barely saw white people back in the day. It was straight the black folk. Especially in my neighborhood, there wasn't a white person in sight. Now it's kind of mixed. You see some white people, but nah, man, listen. It's crazy, okay? Yeah. So that was that. I didn't actually see white people unless it was a cartoon or it was on TV, in the sitcoms and stuff like that. A ton of white people in Dragon Ball Z and in these animes and whatever. But yeah. Yeah. What is worse to you as a parent? What is worse? What is worse? Because I'd rather have my child resent me because I led them down the right path and they kept on the right path, than them love me and treat me as a friend and all that stuff. I'm gonna be that type of parent. I'm not gonna have my foot up their ass 24/7 because freedom. Let them have a little bit of freedom. Let them digest. They want to hang out with friends and stuff and have fun. Trust that if they're going around and another adult, that they'll be able to monitor all the kids and all that. Yeah, sure. If I was that type of parent, You know, if I had a kid, and then 9 times out of 10, they'd just be hanging around my cousin's kid or my family members' children if they have children, which I don't know right now. I'm just only I only know about my cousin's kid right now. I'm not too like I said, when I say I'm an introvert, I'm truly an introvert. I don't check up on nobody. But you got these children that are coming up with other kids that are also fucked up and not adjusted in the slightest. They're at home, they don't have any role models at the house. These kids, their role models are becoming celebrities and the wrong people. If your child's role model is Lil Baby or NBA Youngboy, you're failing your fucking kid. I'm telling you right now, you're failing them. If your daughter's role model right now is Lori Harvey or fucking Sexy Red or someone like that, you're failing your child. I'm not saying, like, come on now, like what are we doing? I would never want my kid to come up to me and tell me that their role model is, they could say it's some celebrity. I personally believe that celebrity should not, you shouldn't have a role model unless it's somebody in the family. But if it's going to be a celebrity, it needs to be a positive one. It needs to be somebody that is leading you down your potential career path, Mommy, who I want to be when I grow up? Oh my God, who? Susie, who do you want to be? Oh my God, I love Sexy Red. I'm out of town, thugging with my rounds, my coochie pink, my booty hole brown. First off, hearing your little girl say coochie, right there, it's over. It's over. As a parent, if you're not mad at that and your blood's not boiling. Now, I didn't say like them. Sure, they like them, whatever. You can like someone and not want to be anything like them, all right? I listen to all sorts of rappers that talk about killing and drugs and all that stuff, but have I ever smoked? Have I ever done drugs? No. I am straight edge. I am, you know what I'm saying? I don't do that. I don't do that stuff. Ate an edible once. Pretty bad, funny experience. but yeah, that's it. That's all I've ever done. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. Nothing. My addiction is food and fucking and going up in life. Okay? That's my addiction. So, just because they're listening to that stuff doesn't mean that that's exactly what they're going to turn out to be like. But there's also a connecting path. If that's all they digest and it's hood nigga, hey, I'm a blood and I kill Crips. I don't give a fuck, nigga, and I fuck you bitch. Oh, yeah, nigga, and stuff like that. And that's all they listen to. And all they hang around is people that live that same lifestyle as what they hear in the music. Your son or your daughter might want to live that lifestyle. It's connecting dots. It is. So yes, when you have your child, you think about having a child, you need to have them in an environment that you think that they would be better suited for them. I'm not saying force them to live a specific lifestyle. No. Don't do that. If they want to live a certain way, sometimes it's better for them to learn the hard way. It is. And I'm not saying a very bad hard way like, yeah, shit, you needed to get shot for you to learn, son, that you're not a gangster. You need to get shot in your leg, Now you can't walk, Not that, or you want to fuck that guy. Well, you got AIDS now. You got AIDS and herpes. There you go. Like, no. Very bad decisions like that, you need to get them away from that. Stop them from doing that stuff, okay? That's a total no-no. Stop them from doing that. These kids, again, you look at what was being heavily pushed in the mainstream right now. My kid ain't gonna listen to the fucking radio. If they do, the shit is gonna be what I have playing off the radio. I'm not, these kids, y'all think Baby Shark is annoying and all that stuff. Trust and believe that's what they need to be coming up on. Baby Shark and fucking Peppa Pig and that type of stuff. Arthur. I came up on Arthur, straight PBS. I came up on PBS, man. PBS, Dragon Ball Z, and that stuff. Was I going around the house fighting my brother because I was watching Dragon Ball Z? No. It was just entertainment to me. I was watching Arthur, and I was watching that one show with the three people. I forgot cyber space, I think it's called. Came up watching Elmo and Big Bird. Sesame Street. Man, was I the only kid that used to watch PBS and be just destroyed whenever the last little PBS show would go off, and then it would show the normal little PBS shows like, "Hello, my name is whatever, and we're here to talk about grass and whatever." I forget what the show was. It was some little documentary series or whatever it was. I'm just like, dog, put the PBS shit back on, man. I'd have to turn the TV off and find something to do now. Now I gotta play games that I'm not even good at. I'm like, man, fuck. PBS used to rule my life, man. I used to be on the TV, glued to it. Now I don't watch nothing. Thanks to PBS, all I watched was cartoons. To this day, I still kind of watch cartoons, which is kind of a testament to why I'm so childish. But the right kind of childish, all right? No, I'm not a menace to society out here doing wild stuff, you know? Your kids need to grow up on that. Your kids need to watch that. If they don't have access to that, you need to build an environment where they can be a child, be a kid. You do not want your child doing the same things you're doing. I saw some clip of I forget her name. It was Iman Shumpert's ex-wife. My memory's so shit. I gotta fucking go look her up. I'm sorry. Oh boy, how the hell did I forget? Iman. Yeah, if I look up Iman Shumpert, I'm sure she'll pop up right at the bottom. Ah, Tiana Taylor. There we go. Tiana Taylor. I seen a clip of Tiana Taylor. She was performing on stage, and her daughter was on stage too, with her. And that's not the problem. It was when I guess some people were fighting, and her daughter was being all ghetto and stuff, talking about some y'all better stop fighting. Y'all better stop blah 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 and all this shit. I'm just like, really? People in the comments saying just like her mama. Oh, she gonna be just like her mom and shit like that. And I'm like, is that a good thing? Tiana Taylor is pretty adult. She's quite an adult. She an aggressive one at that. And it seems like her daughter's going down that same path. You do not want your child mirroring you so early. Yes, they should take inspiration from what you do, but acting like you in the bad ways, being aggressive is not a good thing, okay? I'm not saying that Tiana Taylor's daughter is about to grow up to be a piece of shit or whatever. But however you view Tiana Taylor, if her daughter is mirroring her exact lifestyle choices and being exactly how she is, then that's how her daughter is going to grow up. And if you view Tiana Taylor as a bad person, her daughter might grow up as a bad person. If you don't think that she's a bad person, then all right, good news. If you take stock in children's lives or celebrity kids' lives, then it's a good day for you. I don't really care about celebrities' children. Let them be kids, please. You see Kim Kardashian's kid, Northwest, which is still one of the dumbest fucking names ever. But Northwest, growing up, and she's super, she's got so many opinions. And she's got her own personality. She's not like Kim at all, okay? She's a little more like Kanye than Kim, actually. It's crazy. You barely see her around Kanye, actually. Now that I think about it. It's mainly around Kim. Whatever. It could be a good or bad thing, I don't know. As long as she's not exactly like her fucking mother, and whatever. But, yeah. You see how North acts. She very well, if you just attached a grown up voice to her and heard her talk, you'd think she was a fucking an adult with how she speaks to people and how she is and stuff like that. It's crazy. But I mean, she's like 13 or something right now. I don't know how old she is actually. How long? No, she ain't 13. What the hell? She's got to be like 7 or something like that. Kim and Kanye had that kid like 2016 or something like that. I don't know. I don't care. Okay. And then you got the worst example of a celebrity couple, Krishan and Blueface, which I will always reference. Got that kid growing up, and Blueface is talking about something. That's not my child. That's Charles Barkley's kid. That looks like Charles Barkley. Got him showing the kid's penis and all that shit online and showing the kid's genitals and stuff like that. Taking all these pictures and you showing, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Like, what, like, I want to really say something that's about to sound so powerful and so fucked up too. I would prefer that child just would grow up in an orphanage or something like that. It's better suited, like, for that lifestyle, not knowing his parents, than being around Blueface or Krishan. They're literally not fine tuned to be parents. Blueface literally disowns this kid every second he can. Maybe he's different off camera. I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. Or actually, I do. I hope that he actually cares about this kid. It's the only part of their lifestyle that I actually care about. The kid's development, what the kid is growing up around. This is why it's so important as adults, when you get in relationships. I want y'all to do something real quick, just real fast. Men, actually, listen to me. Look at your woman, or find a picture of your woman. Look at her. If the first thought in your head is, oh, she's so fine, or she's so beautiful, beautiful and fine are two different things to me. If all you can think about is her looks, now ask yourself another question. Do you love her? Or do you only want to smash? Is smashing her more important than how she feels about you or how you feel about her? Or do you love her? Pause this video right now and find out if you love your woman. If you're single, good. Just listen to this part. Do you love her? If you don't love her, do not have a fucking kid with her. Put on a condom, please. Stop raw dogging these fuck buddies. Stop raw dogging your friend with benefits. Stop raw dogging your fucking side piece, your sneaky link, or your fucking little entanglement, or whatever phrase is coming out right now. Stop. Just stop raw. Stop trusting your intuition not to bust in a girl that you don't see a future with. Stop doing it. You don't see a future with her, but you feel the need to cream pie. Y'all are stupid. You're dumb. You're absolutely stupid. And if she doesn't see a future in you, then she's just as stupid. These be the women that go right to child support and shit like that. The Brittany Renner type. That you know what I'm saying? That PJ Tucker seen a future with her, but she definitely didn't see a future with him. You know? That will actively tell you the athletes are the dumbest ones. They're the ones to get the bag from. You know? I let him fuck me, and we have a child now, and no, I'm getting all this money. Like, the sole reason behind having your kid was so you could come up. Do not ever pray to God. You're going to hell. Hell is hot, so enjoy Earth while you can. While you have two different weathers to complain about, because hell only has one. It's hot. It's fucking hot. You're going to go down there and you're going to suffer and burn in a gasoline thong. Do not press go to heaven. You're going to hell. That's how that's going to be. Do not let your children grow up around people that you wouldn't want them to be, that you wouldn't want to grow up around, that you didn't grow up around. You know? If you didn't grow up around good influences, well, put your children around good influences, or become that good influence. You want your child to read books? Guess what you're going to have a house full of? Fucking books. They don't like that. They don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying because people swear video games turn you into the villains that you know, we were supposed to be. Oh, those video games rot your brain. I seem to be a pretty well-adjusted adult, and yet all I did as a kid and a teenager was play video games. Sometimes it's bullshit. Sometimes you have a kid that is just so strong-willed that they're able to become, you know, a good version of themselves, even as children. You don't become the best version of yourself as a kid. That doesn't make any sense. If you peaked in life as a kid, you have fucking done this life thing wrong. If you peaked in high school, you did life wrong. You shouldn't peak in life unless the best job you ever had passed you by, and now you're working, whatever. Okay? Peaking as a fucking teenager is just not how you want to live. It's not. It ain't. I'm still being the best version of myself possible. I ain't peaked yet. Just when I think that my life could be somewhat worse or better, it gets better. It gets better and better and better. And better. It does. I haven't peaked yet. If you're listening, your life is peaked, look into that reason, okay? Become better. Try to be better. Like, don't become complacent with that. These kids are looking at y'all. They pay attention to what the grown-ups are doing. They don't give a fuck they care what the kids are doing and when it appeals to their popularity. Kids care a lot about popularity. They care a lot about their morale. They care about that type of stuff. I wanted to be cool when I was a kid. I did. I chased that. I wanted to be popular like the other kids. And then I broke out of that when I went to middle school. And turns out I was just popular by being myself. I didn't care about being popular in high school, but guess what? In my senior year, I probably was the most popular kid in that school. I was the most popular person in that school. There is no way to put this without sounding like an asshole. But your kid is your responsibility. Forever. Well, I can't say that. Not forever. Once your child enters a world where they're able to take care of themselves, the only time you need to be popping up and being a vigilant parent is when they truly get into something bad that you know they shouldn't be getting into. That's when you go back to discipline mode. But when your child's living a well-adjusted life and you still want to dictate what they're doing and all that stuff, and you still want to, first things first, listen, mothers and fathers, your child's too grown for an ass whooping after 20, okay? It's over. Stop doing that shit. They shouldn't be getting beatings anymore. Really, not even 18 is still too old, honestly. Too much. Too old to be getting hit and all that stuff. Y'all gotta cut that shit out, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, I'm that type of kid that if you raise your hand to me and I didn't do shit wrong, you're going to jail. Whether you're my mom or your dad, your ass is getting locked up, all right? You're going. You're getting out of here, all right? Especially if I didn't do nothing wrong. If I did something wrong, whatever. I deserve the ass whooping. Cool. The last time I got hit was not by my parent. I can tell you that for damn sure, all right? Y'all have to be vigilant. Y'all have to do, like, if this is too much for you and you don't have a child, don't have one, okay? Don't have one. Be very, attentive on who you're smashing and their lifestyle. Oh, I don't like condoms and I like to bust nuts. Well, shit. Make sure your face is very visible for them, for them nuts that they're about to bust. They don't need to be busting inside of you if you clearly don't want a child. What is wrong with you people? The only time your guys, the only time your girl should say, "Oh, come in me" or "bust inside of me," "nut inside of me," is if she's welcome to having a kid with you. If you don't want a kid with her, why are you cream pieing your fucking woman? Why are you doing that? Like, that sounds so stupid to me. Oh, I'm about to do it. Oh my god, and you don't just come out. Why? Why are you doing that? Why? I don't understand. I probably never will. I understand. I probably will never see the common resolve from this. Your children are going on social media being trolls. Your children are the assholes that Twitter's talking about, that Instagram's talking about. Your asshole kids. They're the assholes on these social media sites. Okay? They're the assholes. They're the ones saying all this stupid stuff. NBA Youngboy better and all this lame shit. They're the ones that are praising Lil Uzi Vert and Playboy Cardi and all that shit. They're the ones that are the Nicki Minaj stans. The Barbs and the Barty gang. They're the ones. They're the deranged ones doing that stuff. Did I tell y'all about the 13-year-old on Twitter or X that was saying she went to marry Nicki Minaj's 3-year-old fucking son? Papa Bear is what he goes by. I want to marry her son. I can't wait to marry him. Well, a 10-year age gap waiting on him to turn 16, she said. Obviously, I'd fuck with him and, do stuff with him when he's 16, and then I'd marry him when he's 18. Obviously, I'd wait. Like, you're sick. You have plans. You already have plans on fucking with a fuck. What if he's ugly as shit? Ugly and broke, which is not a possibility given his mother is Nicki Minaj. But yeah, no, you're weird. You already have plans with a kid. You're a teenager plotting on a fucking child. Like, what the fuck? That's a fine ass baby. Like, who the you know what I'm saying? Like, Nicki, these are your fans? You know what I'm saying? These are your predator ass fans. Ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Please. Keep your child. I'm not gonna sit up here and tell y'all what to do, but I'm telling y'all what the fuck to do. Okay? Keep your kids off of social fucking media. Alright? Your teenager can go, whatever. But just make sure you see what they're getting into. You got a lot of these kids lusting over these fucking grown women they don't need to be looking at. And porn has never been more powerful in this world than it is today. You got all these young adults that are growing up super horny all the fucking time. It's because of the porn intake. You know? Gotta stop. Gotta cut it out. These kids, these little girls, they only care about chasing the bag because they haven't been introduced to good men when they were growing up. And if they were, then shit, I don't understand how y'all are the way y'all are. Honestly, I don't get it. I just don't fucking understand. Money is not the be all end all in life. Your happiness is. If you're not happy even with the money, then guess what? You just wasted your life. Y'all have to do better, man. Y'all gotta do better than what you're giving us right now, what you're presenting to the world. Y'all have to do better. Y'all have to. Y'all really, really, really do. Y'all have to. Because this shit is ridiculous. It really, truly is. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. It's absolutely nuts. Check up on your fucking kids. Look at Krishan and Blueface. Do you want to be them? Look at Blueface even in that picture. The nigga is forcing a smile. He's like, I can't wait till this fucking camera on my face. Krishan is so happy, smiling. You know what I'm saying? And even right now when they're not together, Blueface is beating her ass around the fucking kid. Trust and believe, I ain't gonna sit here and say, oh my god, Krishan is having such a bad time with this kid. Help her. And no, she's a fucking idiot too. She's stupid too. Alright? Just do better as grown ass people, okay? Don't bring a child into this world if you're not ready to pay attention to it. Pay attention to your kid. Pay attention. God damn. It's not hard to do. It's not. Especially if you have nothing else going on in life. For you mothers that are at the house, that's just simply taking care of the house. You can't miss a TV show to fucking attend to your fucking kid? Your friends are so important that your kid's fucking development has to be second place to your fun? When does the fun stop? When does the fun take a back seat to the real responsibilities in life? If you're just so fine-tuned on going to the club and doing all this stuff, don't have a kid. Don't. You yourself are already a fucking a grown-ass baby. Grown-ass kid. Going to the club all the time to me is like, I can't wait to go back to school to see my friends. You know what I'm saying? No. I'm saying I like, I like going out and seeing people as much as the next person. I do. I like seeing my friends too. But I like seeing my friends when it's time for that. I don't do it right after responsibilities and obligations and all this stuff. Y'all fucking yourselves up. You gotta stop doing this. You have to stop doing this. Enough is enough. Please, cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it all the way the fuck out. Your children is the number one responsibility in your life next to the person that hopefully you decided to spend the rest of your life with. Hopefully people are having children with their husbands and their wives. Hopefully you're having or a woman or a man that you plan on being engaged to and married to. If you currently have a child with your girlfriend or boyfriend, I hope it leads to your husband or your wife. That's all I'm saying. And you're just gonna keep her as a girlfriend. I'm not too certain. I'm not too positive that that I want this to be more than it is. You're gonna have a very tough rest of your life. You are. You're going to have a very bad time. These men, they fear child support. These women, they fear being attached to a man that they don't want to be seen with in public. And when you mix the two, you have a kid that's about to grow up with a very fucking disturbing future. That's kind of all I wanted to say on that, man. That's really it. Please be there for your child. Please check up on them. Please, with the current climate of social media right now, keep them from getting on there. Like, honestly, I don't think that social media is a place for kids anymore. I don't think so. With OnlyFans taking a huge rise and OnlyFans models being the way they are and stuff like that, in every comment section showing nudity and stuff like that, your kids don't need to be on social media. No, they don't. Until that shit gets taken care of, if I had a child right now, they're not touching Twitter. They're not. I'm gonna keep them from Twitter as long as I can. I don't need to be on Twitter, to be honest with you. The second I'm not on Twitter is the second I'm probably not doing YouTube, because that's really where I get all the news from. Unless I can find some other outlet for my news. Yeah, that's all I care to speak on that. Please be there for your children. Please be better parents. Stop being children as grown ass people. Stop being obsessed with video games on social media and living the lives of the people you see on social media. Please stop. You're like 25. If you're 25 plus, you have lost the excuse. If you're younger than that, I understand. Sure. Figure your life out before you totally become a well-adjusted adult, okay? That's all. That's it. That's all I ask. But of course, we know there's gonna be some couple that have a kid and name the child Versace Dior. So I pray for that kid. Okay. But we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, I have a story time for y'all that is gonna take y'all into 2024. Hopefully you laugh after this very serious topic. Until then, man, go get some popcorn, because this shit is about to be wild. All right. And we are back. This story that I'm about to tell y'all, man. I want this to be entertaining, okay? Because I'm gonna try to make it as funny as I can. I also want y'all to be enlightened by this and informed by this, and I want y'all to be cautious, okay? Because this story is scary, all right? But I'm not gonna make it seem scary, okay? So, I'm exploring, the online dating scene and everything, and at the time there were a few apps that you could have went on, like POF and Tinder being the more popular apps to get on. At the time, this was when I was on POF, okay, called Plenty of Fish. Now, if I could say what I want to about the dating apps, Tinder is really the more mainstream one where you go to find, people go there. There's no problems with it. eHarmony I've never gone to. That really sounds like it's for older folks and stuff like that, which, maybe it's not, maybe it is, but I haven't ever been on there, so I don't know. But it really seems like it's for, they say it leads to marriage most of the time, which I can agree with. Nowadays, I really truly feel like online dating is the way to go right now, with most of the world claiming to be introverts. You got your Hinges and your Bumbles. They're the newer ones coming out, which are leading to better results. And then you got your bottom of the barrel online dating apps like POF. POF it's crazy, okay? It is absolutely wild. it is, it is one of the wildest places to go. All right, you go to POF if you don't mind looking for a fucking transgender or a fucking a damn, someone just looking for a quick come up. You got you got a few stories where it's some normal girl or guy looking for a normal relationship, but they are truly hidden. They even have, I think it's POF where you can do this. I think you can live stream on POF, which is fucking crazy. It's crazy to me. It's really crazy to me. Okay. Um, but yeah, man. It is wild. Okay. It was on POF because my cousin had told me about it, and he had said that it was a wild app. And originally, I went there kind of looking for friends, but also looking for a girlfriend. So I went there, and I seen a few people that definitely qualified as friends. But and now that I say it now, I hate when people say, "Oh, I'm on an online dating app to find friends." It's like you're on the wrong fucking place. You're very much on the wrong spot. There are tons of apps like Twitter and Instagram where you can just find people in the comment section that you can get along with. I see people on Twitter all the time asking for mutuals to follow. It's cool. Go out in public and go to your YMCA's or your fitness groups and stuff where you can get along with people and talk to them. Do not go to online dating apps to find people that are looking for long lasting or short term, whatever your preferences are, relationships. I hate when people do that shit. It's like we're looking for established relationships. I used to always hate when I used to find people that used to be like, "Oh, I'm kind of just looking for people to just talk to." It's like, really? Like, why would you advertise yourself to be so approachable? And then when I finally get to that port, it's like, oh no, friends. I mean, sometimes it could be they just don't want to be with you and they really just want to pass up on you. But no, it's pretty common. Sadly, it's common to see people that just only want friends or only want to be in short term things, or oh, I'm just dating, I just want to see how this feels and stuff. Like, it's like, dude, just go out with yourself and imagine someone across the fucking table from you. You tricking people into this lame ass little experiment you got going on. But yeah, at the time I was on there for friends and or a girlfriend, and I came across this girl. Okay, for the sake of this story, because my God, I'm not saying her real name for shit. I came across this white girl. Okay, we're gonna say her name is Kate for the story. All right, came across this girl named Kate. I thought her profile looked pretty cool, and I was like, yeah, this kind of seems all right. I skipped her though. Um, I went to sleep. I woke up and she had actually messaged me. She actually messaged me and wanted to talk to me and stuff like that. Wanted to connect and everything. And I was like, hey, okay, cool, whatever. It's pretty. I feel like for guys, it's pretty rare for them to be approached on these online dating apps because really and truthfully, what I'm saying, the girls are the ones that get chased when it comes to looks, because when it comes to online dating, you really go off of looks first and then you read the bio later. That really judges it later, but you're not really swiping right on someone that you're not attracted to. I'm not going for that. So I didn't really swipe right on her because of her looks, because she was decent. She's a 7, really. I wouldn't say 7 on her best day, because on her best day she could very much pull off a 9 or even a 10, probably. She had a nice body. She had a decent face and everything. Her personality seemed okay. When I started talking to her, stuff started popping out and everything. We started relating and everything like that. And it was cool. Like, we were talking and stuff like that. And again, her bio for some reason just didn't really pop to me. It just didn't really, again, she looked good, but that's not always what it takes. All right. We related, But even on things that we didn't relate on, she said she understands why I like those things. Like I said, I liked anime and I like to watch basketball, play basketball. She said, "Oh, okay, I want to learn basketball." But the creepy part about this was everything I said that I was doing. She said she'd learn how to do it, and that's fine and everything. And that's cool. You want to learn how to do it, but again, this is with someone that you just met. So in my head, I'm like, oh, this girl seems real like dedicated. Like she really wants to you know, like get along with me. So I was just thinking of this like, oh, okay, this is a pretty cool ass girl. Um, yeah, I learned how to play basketball. Oh yeah, he was like, I definitely learned how to play basketball for you. Oh yeah, when do you watch basketball? We can watch, together. If you don't mind or whatever, and all this stuff. And it's just like every one of my interests, you want to be involved with it in it. I know a man listening to this right now. They go like, "Oh shit, she wants to share your interest. What's the problem with that?" Oh no, it stretched much farther than that. It stretched much, much farther than that. Um, I wasn't super creeped out by the interest thing, and more so with the I would really want to meet up with you thing, and I really want to like experiment how far we can go as like a couple and thing and type of shit. And we weren't a couple yet, so I really let it slide because I'm just like whatever. I haven't even really made the decision yet. I was really leaning more towards yes at this point, but it was like a 51 to 49% type of thing. It wasn't an absolute yes. It was more so like a yeah, she's cute and she wants to be a part of what I'm going on. Um, that thing that ruins most prospective relationships is too much communication and clinginess and a lack of understanding. So while she wanted to be a part of my everything I had going on, I worked at the time and I was going to college. Um, I didn't really have too much time for myself a lot of times. I would go to work, go to sleep, and then go to class, and then sometimes after class I go to work. So yeah, she I tried to text her in between those times and go like, oh yeah, da 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 stuff like that, and gonna give her a little, like a real progress report of what I was, not to say I wasn't talking to her. I was very much keeping up with, some frequent conversation with her. So it wasn't like she wasn't getting my time. I'm not the type of guy, even if you're annoying me, I will still reply to you. Um, but I will be honest about your communication too and be like, dude, fucking relax, chill out. So after a while, I was telling her, I was like, I asked her, I said, what do you do? She said, oh, I'm unemployed, but I get money from my parents and stuff like that, by doing, stuff around the house and whatever. So I'm like, okay, so you get an allowance or whatever. So and I don't know. I didn't want to judge her getting an allowance because yeah, she was 21. I forget what age I was. I had to have been like 23 or something like that. So either 23 or I forget what age, but she was 21. I can remember that by heart. She was 21, and she said that she got an allowance for her parents, which I didn't judge because again, I don't really, it's cool. You're doing stuff around the house. She said she would wash the dishes and tend to the house, watch her little brother and stuff like that. She was there. So I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you're active and stuff. So she said she didn't work, but she got an allowance, and she was like, that's why she has so much time on her hands because she's able to stop what she's doing to contact me and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, cool. So I told her I went to school and I was working and everything, and then she blew up when I said that. She said, so does that mean you don't have time to talk to me? Like, what the fuck? Like, does this mean that we don't have our time? Like, you're supposed to be worrying about us and focused on us? Like, are you not serious about this? I was like, in my head, I'm like, huh? That 51 to 49, just with that one little thing turned to like a fucking like a what did I say, 51-49? It was like a fucking 30-70 now, the 70 leading towards no. So in my head, I'm like, I need to ease away from this girl because like if you're blowing up on me over obligations, like this wouldn't work anyways. So I'm telling her, after a while, I'm telling her, I'm like, it seems like my life would be too kind of like crazy for you, honestly, because I'm like focused on my like development as a man and as an individual to get myself in a better light. And it doesn't seem like, like you need to be on someone, you need to be around somebody or talk to somebody that's on the same shit you are. Not as far as like the chores and everything, but like has that time for you. I was like, I have time for you, but I don't have all day for you. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't like that. She didn't like that at all. She was like, if you really love somebody, you'd have time for them, like all day, time for them. And I was like, if we were living with each other, sure, that would make fucking sense. But we don't live with each other, and we're still learning about each other. She said, okay, so let's learn with let's live with each other. She asked if we could live with each other. We're talking, and she's asking to live with me. So I'm sitting there in my head going, this 70-30 just went from that to a negative 50, 150, or 100. I don't know, whatever the percentage is. So we already went through my math skills earlier. It ain't all the way there. But you want to live with me in the talking phase. So she was like, why don't we live with each other? Then I think that would fix everything. I said, you want to live with me? When I asked that question, she said, I mean, why not? Like, we love each other, right? I was like, I don't love you. Like, I barely know enough about you. I don't know your middle name or your last name right now. Like, what the fuck is going on right now? I know enough about you to talk to you as an acquaintance learning to become a friend. But this is fast. Like, I thought I was quick when it came to love. She is the Flash. Like, this is some fast shit. She was saying that if you love somebody, you should be able to talk to someone like that and talk to somebody as frequently as she talks to me. I said, I don't love you. I don't understand how you can love me. How do you love me already? She was like, why don't you love me? It's like, you talk to me as if you really like me. I said, yeah, like, I think you're a pretty nice person. I think you are, like, the fact that you're willing to want to get into my hobbies and stuff like that is pretty cool. But, like, this whole invasion of this whole invasion of privacy and wanting to be, in my skin all day, every day, that shit is weird. So I'm like thinking, like, maybe I'm being an asshole. Maybe let me just chill out, let me just ignore all that live with me shit. Whatever. So I give her another chance. I said, fuck it, let me just ignore that. So, I meet up with her and stuff like that, and she's talking about, usually girls aren't so forward. At least, I'm not trying to brag at all, but whenever I'm around girls, they usually are kind of forward. I'm not gonna lie to you. Usually it is kind of an invitation to do whatever, or let's go somewhere, or you want to do this, or any of that stuff. She had all these ideas to go to all these places. She said, after we're doing all that stuff, like, we could definitely fuck and stuff, and like, if we want to go back to your house, we can do that. We can fuck, and what the hell did she say? She's like, I want to talk to you about the future too. So in my head, I'm like, this girl just planned out my whole fucking week, gave me permission to have sex with her, and not even just that. Like, let me be clear with y'all with exactly what she said. She said if I want to fuck her in these places or at the house, I could. So she was very fine with me having sex with her out in the open, or waiting till we got back to the house. But she was very adamant that I had to go to fondle her up, or just bring her head down towards my dick and have her suck my dick out in the open if I wanted to. She did not give a fuck. This girl was devoted, dedicated to showing that she was the option for me. So I'm sitting here just thinking in my head, like, how the fuck did I find her, first off? Like, why are you on an online app? One thirsty dude should have been able to just, if I was an evil person, I would have took advantage of all of this. Free sex, free everything. All I have to do is talk to her. Like, shit, boy, I could take all her chore money. Shit, I could do all this extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? If I had that mindset, that just very much proves what type of person I am. I don't use people. You know what I'm saying? People use me, or just an inconvenience in their life, or whatever the case may be. But I don't use anybody. All right. Nah. She, I told her, yeah, we could go to these places, but like you have to work with my schedule. She said, why do you have to go to work? I said, to fucking save, to do the things that I want to do. She said, well, I'm making money. Why don't you let me take care of you? So again, this to any guy out there just sounds like the guy that's single. Just sounds perfect. Like, oh, she wants to take care of me. I can have as much sex as I want. All this shit. It just sounded so unattractive to me. Like, you don't want me to be myself, so you can sit there and take care of someone that you're getting to know. It's like it sounds so thirsty, and like you never actually met other men, and especially as a woman as attractive as she was. Again, she was a 7 in the face to me. She was a 7 in the face. Her body was very much like a fucking 8 or a 9. I don't know. I don't like ranking women's bodies. It sounds kind of crazy, but we went to one spot. Okay, we went out and we went to watch a movie, and then after that we went to go eat. And it was cool. It was a nice time. She actually was acting very normal in the movie theater. Like she wasn't talking or had her phone on. I hate when people talk during a movie. Like, I really fucking hate it. Like, I like to just watch shit. I don't like to talk during shit. I mean, when I'm with my brother, I'll talk through a YouTube video all day long. But when it's like some entertaining stuff or something really, really, you know what I'm saying, got my attention, I don't say nothing. She wasn't talking or anything. Like, she was quiet. She wasn't pausing to ask questions. None of that stuff. I hate that shit. We were just watching, okay? We were watching a movie, and then after that, we went to go eat, and she was being normal when we were eating. I mean, kind of normal. She was still on her usual, I love talking to you. I love being around you. You have a really nice face. I love your face. Oh my God, I love your face. Can I touch your hand and all that shit? But more so than often, it was normal, okay? So after that, whatever. A few days passed after that, and I start telling her that I didn't want to do these things because it was starting to, you know, like it was getting in the way of school for me. It was getting away for school, and it was getting in the way of my work. I really, really cared more about my job than I did college for some reason. Because at the time, money was kind of foreign to me. So I was like, this was a realm where I was able to make my own money and do my own stuff. So I cared more about my job than school at the time. I wasn't making money from school. And plus, it was going to take years for me to be able to make money because of it. So I really care more about the job. If I miss class, whatever, you know, I felt confident enough in my academic ability to be able to make up whatever I missed. Or if push come to shove, you know, if I had to repeat these classes, I knew that I was able to pass if I actually gave a fuck about it. So if there was something that she asked me to do that conflicted with class, I more so than often, I was like, fuck it, you know, whatever. Yeah, sure. Like, yeah, no. My classes were in the morning. My classes were from, I think, 9, and then I think my last class was at like 1 at the latest. And they weren't all the same day. I think I had a class on Monday. I think it was Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, because my off days were Tuesday and Thursday. So she didn't give a fuck. On those days, she, like, every day she would ask me to do some shit. On Thursday and Tuesday or Thursday, whatever. I was open to do what the fuck ever I wanted. So that was fine. But no. I had one class on Wednesday, and that was the class that stemmed out that was like super late. Like, I think it was from 11 to 1. So everything else was, you know, a little earlier in the morning. I was off work them days, so I didn't really care about doing anything on them days. But Wednesday was booked. Like, Wednesday I was working and I was going to class. So Wednesday, for real, is the day she would piss me off the most. But I started to say no because, you know, again, it was conflicting with just not only, you know, I didn't even really give a fuck if I was off. I didn't want my entire life being identified by some woman like that I was getting to know. Like, I didn't want to just give up, everything. Like, you need chill days. Sometimes you don't need to see your significant other or a girl that you like or a person that you like. You need to like give yourself some time. You shouldn't fill up your significant other's entire schedule, entire day. Like, you just have shit already made, and then you ask and you get offended when they don't want to do like over half the shit. Like, you gotta relax. Like, let them have some time. See them on days that doesn't conflict with their life. That day they can actually give you the time of day. If she would have came to me every Tuesday and Thursday, talking about, oh, I want to do this and all that stuff, then sure, I wouldn't have gave a fuck. I'd have been like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But no, it was every day she wanted to do some shit. I eventually had told her, I was like, we're gonna have to like calm down with this, because like, for one, I don't even really get paid enough for my job to be doing all this shit with you, and I don't want you spending all your money, because I know how that is. I know when I don't like people being able to leverage shit over me like that. I still don't. I don't like people spending money on me and then reminding me of the gifts they got, or reminding me of the stuff that they did. My mom did a lot of that shit, so I don't like when people do that. As a result, I tell people that I don't like gifts. When they ask me, oh, what do you want? I don't say anything. I don't say shit. I'll take food all day long, but like, that's it. Like, that's the highest I'm willing to let you go is food. Whatever. So I was telling her that, and she was like, it just sounds like you don't want to be around me, to be honest. I said, it's not that. I don't mind being around you. You're a nice presence. You're just like, this is becoming something else that I don't want it to be. Like, again, I think you're cool and I like being around you, but like, if you start becoming a liability to my pockets and my fucking future, you're like not somebody that, that's not wifey type shit. That's not girlfriend type shit. Like, getting in my way is not, that's not healthy. Someone that you're with, your significant other, should never get in the way of you becoming the best version of yourself. That shouldn't be the case. If they interrupt in your progress as a man or as a woman or as an individual, no, no. That person does not actually care about you. They just care about actions and doing stuff. So I asked her straight up. I said, do you even give a fuck that I go to school? Do you even give a fuck that I work? She said, honestly, I don't really care that you do either of them things. I just want to see you. I just want to be around you. So in my head, I started doing the math, and I'm like, this girl is lonely as fuck. She just stays home and she just does nothing. I'm like her only mode of entertainment. So either that, or it's like she doesn't allow herself to make friends. So I asked her, I said, do you have friends? She got offended by that when I asked that. So she was like, what the fuck does that mean? Can I not talk to you when I want to talk to you? I said, of course you could talk to me when you talk to me. You're talking to me now. It's just, where are your friends? Like, you know what I'm saying? I cannot be the only person you talk to. I cannot be the only person that the only way you have fun. Like, I get like a lot of girls don't play video games. A lot of girls, their hobbies aren't really outdoor hobbies, or if they are, then it's really by themselves. So I said honest ass question, and she blew up on me saying, okay, so I see what this is. You don't want to talk to me then. All right, whatever, goodbye. So I was like, okay, this is weird. She never really just disappears. So she disappeared for all of 10 fucking minutes, and she came back talking about I'm sorry I blew up on you. I just don't like you working and don't like you doing this shit. So she apologized and then fucked it up like 2 seconds later by going right back to what we originally were arguing about, me not having freedom. So after a while, I just went like, whatever, man. This is just, it is what it is. And then I told her, I said, honestly, at this point, I don't think like me and you work as a couple. Like we're not going to work as a prospective couple. We're not going to. Like, I tried to see if it was like a possibility if this could work, but like, you're too invasive. Like, you're too invasive. You're too clingy. Like, you want me to abandon everything that I do so you can have your time with me. Like, there's my day, your day, and then there's our day. Like, all of your day is also our day. So, like, there's no such thing as a me day. And when there's a me day, you have an attitude about it. So, like, no, I don't want to do that shit. Like, you can easily cling on to another man. Which, that story is funny too, by the way. Because somehow I know how she's doing right now. So when I said that to her, she said she said, you're not even gonna give me the chance to like adapt to what you want. I said, girl, we've been talking for months. Like we've been talking. When I say months, don't assume we'll be talking for near a year. Like this was like 3 or 4 months. Like we've been talking for months, and you haven't changed at all. Like we've had this conversation a few times. Like this is fucking crazy, dude. Like no, I don't like this shit. So she was like, okay, so what? I don't get another chance. I don't get to change. So my dumbass gave her. In my head, I'm not even give her another week. Fuck it. I'm gonna give her one more week. Said, do it. Fine. So she had that, right? I said, yeah, sure, I'll give you another chance. But really in my head it was a week test. 1 week. She failed within 2 days. The first day, it impressed me. The second day, I was like, oh, okay. And we back on that bullshit. you you haven't learned shit. You haven't learned a fucking thing. Like you right back to dictating how I do shit. So, after that week was done, I said, Kate, you haven't learned anything. Like you haven't, like nothing has changed. Like you literally went right back to the person that you were. Like it takes people longer than a week to change. I was like, not only do I not even believe that you can't change anymore, but like I just think I need to just be alone. Like I don't even want to talk to girls right now. I just want to focus on my life. So that was that. Um, she said, well, can we at least be friends? I said, fine. I'm not opposed to having friends. Fine. Let's be friends. So I didn't go back to POF. I actually had wound up having this crush on this girl that I was working with. I won't say her name because no, shit, fuck her for sure. But yeah, the craziest shit wound up happening. Kate wound up coming up to my job. I was working in a grocery store at the time. She wound up coming up to my job, and she saw me like working, and she came up to me and she was talking to me all quiet and stuff until she seen the girl that I had a crush on. I'm gonna say her name is Justine. We'll say her name is Justine. Um, Kate saw Justine and she was going fucking crazy. Like she didn't like start flipping shit, but like all of a sudden her fucking attitude changed when she seen her. Cause I went up to go say something to her. I said, "What's up?" And then I told her to do something, and I think it was in I was working in produce, and I told Justine to go fuck with the salads. So that's all it took. That's all it took for Kate to go fucking ape shit. She was talking to me wild as fuck after that. She was like, oh, okay, so you can't talk to me, but you could talk to her. I was like, like that's wild as fuck. Again, all I did was tell fucking Justine to go do the fucking salads. Kate couldn't handle that shit. Like me even looking at another girl or fucking like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she could feel some type of energy behind it. Cause again, I did like Justine at the time. I did. So, or at least I had an interest in her. But Kate got the fuck out the aisle. She got away. She was walking around with she started out with like a little hand cart, like a little hand thing, where you don't have that much groceries to get. You can just throw a little something in there and then be done. Nah, she upgraded from that to a cart. So she was walking around for, I shit you not, about 2 hours, and she kept on like kind of skulking around the floral section and the meat or the fish department. We were right next to the bakery, or I mean the deli department, the deli and the bakery. They were connected and within each other. And then right next to that was the fish department, or the seafood department. So she kept on skulking around there, acting like, she kept on talking to the deli person. Eventually the deli person that came up to me and it said, like this fucking girl, bro, won't get shit. Like she keeps on saying that she might get something, and she keeps on leaving and going to another department to go get something, and then she comes back and then she says, "Oh, I might get this again." I had to just go up to Kate straight up and say, like, are you gonna get something? Because your cart has dead ass been empty for like fucking 2 hours. Like you're not shopping at this point. You're just fucking stalking me. So she was watching me. She was fucking actually fucking watching me. Like every time I would look at her, somehow she would not be looking at me. So, again, a little after a little 2 hours or whatever, she wound up putting the cart back and she left. I had to look outside to see if she actually left. She did leave. She did, she was gone. Um, and then after like during my shift, she was trying to like talk to me and text me and stuff like that. Um, Literally the entire time Kate was there, I could not talk to Justine too much. Like I could only really quaintly talk to her. We could talk to each other in the back because like I did not want Justine being a part of me and Kate's bullshit. Like I did not want Kate to come over to her and attack her just simply because I had feelings for her. So yeah, no. Yeah. When I got sorry, excuse me. When I got off of work, I had talked to Kate and I was like, I didn't fuck with that shit at all. What you did, like you like walking around checking up on me and shit. And she said, I just didn't know what to get from deli. Like, is that a problem? I can't eat now. I said, if you were actually hungry, you would have been gotten some from deli. Which, by the way, that deli, boy, that deli department was good as hell, boy. One thing about grocery stores and their little deli departments, they be having some good shit. All right. y'all complain about the lunch food y'all get from school. It ain't no different from the deli department in them grocery stores. They be having some nice shit. Even talking about them now, I'm hungry as hell. But that shit was good. All right. So I was like, you couldn't find anything to eat at the deli department. Like if you were actually hungry, you definitely would have got something from the deli department. I understand not knowing what groceries you want to get, but that also within itself sounds kind of ludicrous. Like, how do you not know what to get? You chose to drive up to a grocery store, and you didn't know what you wanted from the grocery store with all these options that you could have. And on top of that, the deli department had, it has a variety of options. It's not limitless. It's limited. So to look at all that stuff and go, oh, I don't know what I want out of like fucking like 12 options, like you're there stalling. So I was like, okay, whatever. We ain't gonna, whatever. Fuck all that. So at this point, I started telling myself, I don't even want to be friends with this girl anymore. I just don't want to know you. But I let it slip because I waited for her to do something really, really crazy. So when I wasn't working at the grocery store when I wasn't there, I would shop at the grocery store that was a little down the street from where I live. And when I got there one day, I saw Kate's car. So I said, do I really want to shop here when she's already here? So I turned around. I said, fuck it. I'm going to wait for her to leave because if I see her, if I say anything to any woman, she's going to fucking stalk me and follow me and try to talk to me. First things first, Kate didn't ever like shopping there until I went there I took her there one day. And then after that was her favorite fucking little spot to shop at. She's always there. Yeah, man, I couldn't really do a lot of things anymore. Like that whole time on that neighborhood, I felt limited. Like I couldn't actually go out anywhere or see shit. I didn't really hang out with friends or anything like that. Like I hung out with my cousin a lot. I had a few friends that I would talk to, play video games with and stuff, but nah, man, I wasn't. I'm an introvert to a T. I don't go anywhere. I still don't go anywhere. If I do go somewhere with somebody, it's with somebody close. So that would usually be with my cousin or my significant other or something like that. Or my brother or something. But he also is an introvert. He only goes to work. But whatever. So I waited. I drove around for a second, and then I went back to the grocery store. Kate was still there. I left, and then mid-drive while I was trying to drive back to my house, I said, you know what, man, I'm not about to let this girl influence my life. Fuck it. I'm going back. I went back to the grocery store. I didn't park beside her. I parked like on the far opposite side of her. I went in for 2 seconds. Literally, as soon as I go in there, I don't see her, but I'm looking around. I had literally had to, like, as crazy as my mind was racing, I looked left and right like 15 fucking times. Like, literally, I'm not even past the produce department yet, and I'm looking around 1,000 times. So I'm like, coast is clear. I turned the corner, boom, right there. There was Kate. She was like, "Oh, I knew you was gonna come here eventually." I'm like, "You knew I was gonna," like, in my head, I'm like, "What the fuck is going on right now? Like, you knew I was gonna get here. Like, how did you know I was about to come to this grocery store when I work at one?" Like, you always come down this aisle first and all that stuff, and like, oh, and then I had to ask her, "How long have you been waiting here?" She said, I haven't been here for long. I just got down this aisle," which, okay, I believe that. So I was like, "Oh, okay." Well, I started talking to her. I'm like, "Oh, what are you looking for?" And she was like, I mean, a few things. She had two things in her cart. I'm just like, man, you've been at this grocery store for I don't know how long. You only have two things in your fucking cart. I'm scared at this point because I'm like, this girl won't let me live unless, like, something drastic happens. So we're just walking around shopping now. And again, I can't look at any girls. I can't talk to any fucking girls. Nothing. I can't talk to anybody. I see my auntie in the grocery store. I had to avoid her. She didn't see me. We didn't see each other. Like, I had to basically avoid her. I couldn't say anything to her because I didn't want her, Kate questioning the fuck out of my auntie, trying to get more intel on my life. Which my auntie doesn't know that much anyways because, again, I don't really see my family too much outside of my brother or my cousin from time to time, which I haven't really seen him in a while. So, yeah. But, yeah, no. I didn't know. But I don't even really want my family, really most of my family, seeing my significant other. My dad's side of my family is judgmental. No. Fuck no. That's not happening. So, no. I didn't let that shit happen. Um, so, once I seen her, I kind of wrapped it up. I got two more items and I jumped in the line. And we thankfully left before then. She asked where I parked, and I was like, "Oh, I'm all the way over here." She was like, "Oh, why didn't you park next to me?" I was like, "Oh, I always park over here." She was like, "No, that's a lie. Usually when I come up here, I see you parked on this side." So I'm super routine. She was not lying there. I do always park in one spot, but she was parked right next to the spot that I usually park in. So she was like, "Why are you over there all of a sudden?" I was like, it's closer to the entrance. Why not? I did really hated the spot I was in, by the way. I don't like parking on the far other side. So, yeah. Um, I just walked her to her car. I helped her put her groceries in the car. You would think even after all this stalking, I didn't just went and cut her off and just tell her to go on about her business. Nope. Still helping her put her groceries in the car. She called me. She said she was talking to me for like 20 minutes after I helped her get her groceries in the car. And she did wind up actually getting some stuff. Like, she did have two things at the time, but once she started walking around with me, she actually started getting stuff. Um, she had her stuff, and then we talked for like 20 minutes, and then after that, I wound up going back to my car. And when I got in my car, she called me to talk to me some more. I'm like, dude, this just cannot be like my life right now. Like, this is crazy. So that night, I actually wound up having a long talk with myself, and I'm like, I can't handle this anymore. Like, she's running me. Like, she's running my social life. Like, she's gonna appear to all my favorite spots. She's going to do all this shit. Like, she's going to come to my job if I don't stop her. All of this. So I just have a conversation with her. I'm like, as cool as you are, Kate, you are scaring me. Like, I can't actually be myself anymore. Like, like, I can't be me right now. Like, you are like this. I can't allow you to do this anymore to me. Like, I don't want to see you all day every day, talk to you all day every day. You won't even let me have a relationship outside of our friendship that you agreed to have with me. So she was like, honestly, okay, because I don't want to talk to somebody that doesn't want to talk to me. So I was like, I don't want to disrespect you. Hopefully you understand. Yeah, like, we just need to go our separate ways because, like, You like, if you're lonely, I understand that coming from somebody that doesn't really have too many friends or too many people to lean on, especially right now. Like, if I don't have a significant other, I basically only have my brother. Like, I don't have anybody or people at my job, but we don't talk outside of the job. I don't really have anybody, other than, subscribers. Like, I don't have people to talk to, honestly. That's it. Like, I don't have a circle anymore. Like, it's just me at this point. So, that's that. Uh, but I understand. I basically understood it. So I was sad for her in that endeavor. I was like, if I disconnect from her, she probably will have nobody to talk to. So I was like, I'm just gonna have to like that's not my responsibility at this point. It's up to you to make more friends. So once me and her stopped talking that day, went a whole 3 days without talking. We didn't talk to each other at all. I was like, wow, she actually left me alone. It took this girl 3 days, and I wound up going to the grocery store, and I seen her walking around with another guy, and she was all booed up on him and stuff like that. He's all grabbing her ass and stuff, and juggling her cheeks in his hand and stuff. And I'm like, oh, look at this. So you found somebody. So in my head, I'm like, it was so easy for you to replace me. Like, you were just waiting on me to, like, what the fuck? She did all this stalking. She did all this watching. She did all this crazy shit. And the whole time she could have just replaced me. So, like, I had her number. I'm like, wow, I saw you at the grocery store with with another guy. I'm really happy that that happened. She hit me with a line that I remember to this day. I will never forget it. She says, "Why the fuck are you talking to me right now? My man will beat your ass if he sees you talking to me. Like, stop talking to me. You're so desperate that you have to talk to me." I'm like, "Excuse me? Like, what is this Kate still? Like, does her man have her phone right now or what?" So I had to confirm. I'm like, "Is this your man or is this you?" She was like, "It's me." Like, what the fuck? Like, wow, like, again, I'm gonna have my man whoop your ass if you don't stop talking to me. I was like, all right, bet. Shit, that's a bet. We don't gotta talk. So I stopped talking to her. I'm like, shit, this is what I wanted. I just wanted to be happy for her. 2 weeks later, she hits me up saying, "I'm sorry that I said all that stuff about you, and I was gonna have my man beat your ass, and I was just mad at you." And I was like, "Oh, that's okay. Like, that's cool. Like, how's everything going with him?" She said, "Oh no, after you had contacted me that day, like a couple days later, I broke up with him, and I was thinking about how me and you could try again and all that stuff." And I'm like, bro, this girl broke up with this dude to fucking try again with me. I'm like, we were never actually really close to getting together with me. I was like, what? I'm like, "Kate, please tell me you didn't break up with him to for me." She was like, "I mean, why not?" I was like, "I still like you. Like, why can't we just like why can't this be something? Why won't you allow it to be something?" I'm like, "Kate, there's nothing. Like, there's no romantic future between us. That's like, I understand how much that's gonna hurt for you to comprehend, to try to understand, but it's like, literally, it's not a chance. Like, it's nothing between us. It's done. Like, you gotta stop. Like, you're hurting yourself now at this point." She was like, "Am I really hurting myself? Because you're the one hurting me." So I'm like, so I had to like think about it now, because I'm like, there's a chance that this girl could be hurting herself or something like that. So I asked her. I said, like, is like, are you okay? Like, is everything good? Like, nothing crazy's happening to you or anything. She was like, "No, like, everything's okay, everything's fine. Um, I don't want to I don't want to scare you. I don't want to make you feel a certain type of way. Fine, I'm done." It's like, all right, she's done again. Y'all know how this goes. She wasn't actually done. Literally, like a week later, she wound up talking to me again. But at this point, I said, "Fuck it, man. I'm gonna have to block her." So I just blocked her. I said, "I can't do this shit no more." If I had confirmation she wasn't hurting herself, and she clearly was able to talk to somebody else. And I was starting to think maybe she did that to make me jealous, but it didn't make me jealous. It actually made me happy for her, because it made me happier for myself, because I'm like, fucking, finally, I'm rid of her. Finally, yeah. That The week after, I wound up seeing her at the grocery store again with another fucking guy, but I didn't say anything to her this time. Um, I nothing. The funniest shit is, to this day, she still fucking shops there. She shops there all the fucking time. We see each other. She'll say hey, hi, and bye to me. That's it. And like, I'll do what I do. Like, I'll try to make it as fast as possible to get the fuck out of her way. That's it. That's all. That is it. That is really it. Um, Moral to the story is, when you see that it's not for you, leave. You know what I'm saying? If you feel it's healthy to be friends, fine, open that up. But if you feel uncomfortable, leave. Do not stick around if you do not feel certain about it, okay? Don't stick around even though nothing's gonna happen. None of that, you know? Yeah, we've all probably gone crazy over one ex, but like that, you know, no. Don't do that. Please don't. You know? There's more people out there for you. Go find someone else, you know? That is my story time. That is how that went. Um, I don't want to elaborate on it any more than I gave y'all. I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I'm just gonna say that this has been a great year for my channel, and this has been a good year for me personally. So with that being said, man, with that story being out, take from that, and I hope y'all learn from it, because there's probably someone going through this exact thing right now. Leave. Do not give that person more time than they're asking for. Okay, treat yourself great first. All right. With that being said, man, this is the podcast episode. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Y'all hear my throat closing up, so that just means I need to go eat something or drink some water. I don't want to start sounding like Doc Rivers right now. Y'all have a good rest of the year, and have a great next year, man. Hopefully we are on to bigger and better things in 2024, okay? Good things for the podcast, good things for the channel, and good things for everybody's individual growth. Beyond that case, man, y'all already know we are unscripted, uncut, unfiltered, and unbiased. This is the totally unbiased podcast. Checking out for 2023. I will see y'all in 2024.